Mm. Hello. If you're wondering why I'm sitting on the floor, it's because somebody stole my chair. Hi.
Do you have any images of said person or animal?
I might. Wouldn't you like to know? Uh, in fact, here's a quite recent one. There he
Yeah,
is, just comfortably taking up the entire thing.
there's sunshine.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what I would give to lie in a puddle of sunshine. Do you want to see what I'm in the process of making?
Yes.
It's gonna be a big old caterpillar pillow, like a body
Well,
pillow, like very, very long, very
like
big.
a
And
big,
this,
large caterpillar pillow that goes on
yeah,
perhaps furniture or the floor, and you can
hmm
sit on it because it's a large pillow.
pillow like that.
Okay,
hmm
great. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm right there with
Um,
you.
Fantastic. Just as long as we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And this is the head with the little antenna,
Oh,
and they
yes.
bend,
They bend at the
right?
joints.
Yeah, they do. So I can
Wow.
make it have different expressions if I want. So I've hear through the grapevine that you had a bad day on Thursday.
Then why would the grapevine tell you that?
Grapevine's terrible at keeping secrets.
Yeah, that's actually true. I'm trying to think if anything even happened on Thursday, you know? It was like fine. It's just that I was first of all not feeling well. Secondly, it was
Mhm.
daylight savings week. And so the combination of things that have happened it was like just the whole week I was like, I
Yeah.
think I don't feel good. Yeah.
Every single night I try to go to bed and I'm like, I'm just not tired, but it's 11:30 and I need to go to
hmm
bed right now or else I will
hmm
be miserable and sleepy all day. But I'm not tired because it's not 11:30,
It feels
it's
like it's
10:30
10:30.
barely. Yeah.
Right.
It's I mean the worst thing ever. And then when I wake up in the morning too, it says, "Hey, it's 7:30 time for you to get up," and it feels like 6:30. It's
hmm
terrible both ways.
It's really bad. Yeah.
Yeah. This I
Yeah.
think is the perfect like encapsulation of politics, is daylight savings because all
There's
day, every
no
day,
reason for
all
it.
week. No, none at all. They have like a
hmm
few urban legends floating around as to why it exists. None of them, I think it's a combination of all of them and none of them. But like
Yeah.
Republicans hate it. I've never agreed with any of my coworkers on anything except for this week. Everyone's like, I'm gonna shoot myself. And I'm like, I know. We're all in the same boat.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And the thing
if
is, um, since you mentioned it, did you know that actually, quite genuinely, suicide rates do spike every March and November because
Mhm.
of the jarring changes in our lives every time it's daylight savings?
Yeah, as well as the heart attack rates,
It's
strokes.
almost as if, like, the natural cycle of Earth is gradual enough that we can adjust to it, but when we decide to change what nature is already doing, just like for
Mm.
some unknown reason, it turns out bad because it's unnatural and unhealthy.
Yeah,
Something like that. I don't know.
can't quite put my finger on it, but I feel like you might be onto something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, heart attack rates too. Yeah, I mean people are not getting enough sleep. It actually shocks your body because your whole
hmm
cycle is thrown off, and that's like, you know, maybe that's
Right.
bad.
Yeah. And, I mean, the thing is if this is something that every single person in this country can actually agree on,
Mhm.
and we still don't get rid of
And we
it,
still do it, yeah.
what,
Even
how are
though
we
almost
ever
every
going to
single
possibly
person
change
hates it.
anything that we don't agree with? How is that ever gonna, like, we still do this. No
Yeah.
one wants this. I think the main thing that, like, the main reason we haven't changed it is because some people can't agree on if we should stay on daylight savings or go back to the normal. But like,
Hmm.
flip a coin. I don't
Yeah,
care.
like
Or make it
just
be the
pick
one
one.
with more sunshine. I just like I
Just pick one.
yeah,
And
there
the thing is, it's the same amount of sunshine. It just depends on when you get up for the day or when you go to bed, right? So people who have perhaps different kinds of jobs will still experience the same amount of sunshine as they did before, just on the other part of the day.
maybe something like that.
I don't know. It kind of seems like unnecessary to be like, let's start all our meetings at 8, but still pretend they're at 9.
And we change it just after it feels like you got used to the last one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I will say though, everything else has been terrible and a nightmare, but I get to drive home in the sunshine now. And that,
Which would have happened in about a month anyway because of the gradual changes of Earth naturally, but
sure. Yeah.
but I'll give it to you.
Yeah. In all honesty, I really did need the win this week. So in that way,
Hmm.
and only that way, good job, daylight savings change. Every
Hmm.
other way,
Kill
go die
yourself.
in a ditch.
Yeah, yeah.
Jen said at the beginning of the year that her New Year's resolution, like, well, her new attitude for the year was not going to be, I'm going to kill myself. It was going to be, no, you should kill yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So,
agree, Jen. I mean,
so anyway, you don't have to include any of this. I just needed to purge it from my system because Jen and I, we talked, we talk about stuff for a while, but then eventually we realize it just makes us more sad.
hmm.
So we try not to talk about things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead, we talk about, you know, the romantic overtures of her ex-situationship.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Which is
And
a touching tale for the
speaking of
ages.
romance, movie,
Movie.
movie, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to Women in STEM. Today, STEM stands for something that we haven't decided yet, and we're talking about Enchanted because we have seen that movie before.
We are on to halfway.
So
Yeah.
now everybody's caught up. That's what's going on.
Um, I figure E would be too easy if it were Enchanted, but what about
Mhm.
Evil Queen?
There's Evil Queen, definitely.
Hmm. And then
And
M,
she's awesome.
she is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The little daughter's name is Morgan.
it is. I was thinking music because
Oh,
this,
music, because there's music. There
yeah,
is, I don't know if we've said this before yet, there is music in this movie.
yeah, yeah. Not a lot of people know
Yeah,
that, but there
but
is.
it's true.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
even a part where she's walking through the park and starts singing a song, and then some random busker starts singing along with her, and then suddenly the whole city of Manhattan is singing this song, and he says, huh? And that's really good.
It is. Yeah.
Mhm. Um,
And I did rewatch this movie today,
oh yay.
partially to get ready for this, but mostly because it's so good.
Yeah, it's really cute.
So close for S, so close.
Yes,
If we
because
do so
that's one of
close,
the
that's
songs.
songs, yeah. And then we can do Morgan as name of daughter instead, because that's part of
Right.
music.
Because then
Yeah.
S, that sounds for like songs, but it's so close specifically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
And
that,
then
I
T
mean, that
also.
means T is in it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I've
Not to throw off your groove there. Sorry about that.
got
Hmm.
nothing. We can circle back to it.
None of these are very good.
Yeah.
Andalasia and New York, no T's.
Nope.
Nancy, Giselle, no T's. Uh,
Edward,
Edward, no T.
no T. Patrick Dempsey has a name in this movie, allegedly. I
Yeah.
don't remember what it is.
It's like Robert, maybe,
That's it.
which has a
Robert.
T, but with an American accent, the T is quite small.
It's very, yeah,
We don't
it's
really
very
call
subtle.
people Robert. A lot of the time, they
That
just call him
it
Robert.
sounds scary if you say it like that. Like, oh, you have something serious to
Robert.
say.
You're like, yeah.
Hello, brother. Did you see his
And
little
then,
paws?
well, he's a divorce lawyer, which doesn't have any T's in it. And the woman who is gonna get divorced but then meets Giselle and then decides to reconcile with her husband is named Phoebe, which also doesn't have a T in it.
It
I
doesn't.
don't, I remember her name so much, but there's nothing that has a T. Tank of fish at the divorce lawyer's office. That starts with a T. Mm, no, T can be for this is definitely an emergency before they go on their shopping spree.
Yeah, which I have
They do.
thoughts about that one, but and they do, yeah, and it is an emergency,
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's kind of the only
um,
thing. We can circle back to T, but if we can't figure anything else out, at least we have that.
The only other thing I got is transformation into dragon, but I
Oh, that's
that's kind of
true.
we already have evil queen.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not really the right order. It would be transformation into dragon dash evil queen so that they
It's
belong together. It's like confusing.
yeah. I did take notes.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Like a
Cool.
professional. Hey, let's get into it. Welcome to Women in STEM.
Yes,
Yeah,
we are all actual women in actual STEM for the duration of this video. You're
yeah,
welcome.
yeah. In
Yes.
addition to being women in STEM, we too are doctors. Yeah,
You say hour.
I did. I was trying to
I've never
pronounce it.
heard somebody vocally say the wrong R.
I don't know how it happened. It just came out of my mouth and I was gonna roll past it.
I was going to as well, but I couldn't. I couldn't do it.
That's fine. We all knew my accent would devolve into something incomprehensible one day.
Yes, actual doctors that you can trust.
Yeah,
Yes, that's us.
yeah. hmm this movie is called Enchanted,
Yeah,
and
and it's quite cute.
you could say that.
Mhm.
I was watching this movie today, and I'm so glad that it came out when it did. I wouldn't change almost anything about it, but I just the whole time I kept watching it, I'm thinking this is what the movie wish should have been to me.
Mhm.
Like it to me, it captures a lot of the classic Disney and brings it together with newer Disney with the live action and the animation and kind of melds them
Yeah,
into, this is the perfect fairy tale versus this is kind of the reality of, a relationship and you get real life and kind of
yeah,
meld them together in a really perfect and beautiful way. And I'm glad that it didn't happen at the time that Wish did because they would have ruined it and it would have destroyed me. But
yeah,
to me, this is what
yeah,
the 100th anniversary of Disney should have been, is
yeah.
this
I
perfect.
I see what you mean. Yes, yes, yes.
hmm Yeah.
Because if we're gonna celebrate Disney, the one of the top five worst corporations in the world, we could at least do it with a good movie. And this is a good movie.
This is a good movie.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about the casting first.
Okay.
Because
Yay.
holy crap, when have we ever had a movie with such perfect casting?
Mm.
We just talked about The Emperor's New Groove. So
Yeah, so
it's been
that's
a,
kind of on our minds.
yeah, but I mean, it's from The Emperor's, let's see, it's from Hell's Hinges, 1913, The Emperor's New
16.
Groove, 16. Thank you. That was
Hmm.
embarrassing. Uh,
Yeah,
to
they're gonna think we're
Enchanted.
fake fans. Don't worry, we're the realest fans there are. I think there
Hell's
are
Hinges
only
has a million
two. I
fans.
think there are only two Hell's Hinges fans in the world, and buddy, you're looking at them. Here we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
Hell's Hinges, and then Emperor's New Groove, and
Mhm.
then this movie are the
I
only three
think.
good movies, and we're always saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually do think, not to spoil our 1,000 subscriber special, but I actually do think Veretta Parvam is perfectly cast just
Mhm.
because she's incredible.
She's
Like Run a
the
Dugga Buddy,
best
we talk about
actor
him a lot, and he's
constantly.
amazing, and he's a
Yeah.
wonderful actor, and he's very beautiful.
And he's a
But,
terrible dancer.
and that's fine.
Yeah, we love him
If we're
still.
gonna talk about somebody else who's a wonderful actor and beautiful,
Yeah.
like she's incredible. And how is she 30 years old in that, but fully plays like 18 perfectly?
So well.
She
Yeah.
has a youthful glow. Like she
And
has the
the
energy of like somebody who's
mannerisms.
she's just starting out in the world. Like she has it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in real
Yeah.
life, she's fully grown.
And I mean, the scene where she's like in her mentor's house and crying and she just kind of wipes away one tear, like
Mhm.
barely. I mean, yeah, don't even get me started, but like, yeah, she, number one fans here. My goodness.
There are two fans of Hell's Hinges and two fans of Virata Parvam, and it's not a Venn diagram, it's just a circle.
Yeah, she should be in every movie.
I agree.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
In some
Um,
role or another, because you know she's gonna be the best actor there.
like if nothing else, just a cameo role. Because if she's in bigger, if it's not her movie, but she has a big role, she's just gonna steal the spotlight away from the main characters, and they
Right, right,
deserve a
right.
chance too.
Yeah. But even,
Yeah.
yeah, even just a cameo, and even then, some people will still say, my favorite scene in the movie is actually that one, that woman that's in there for like 4 minutes. I really like
Yeah.
that. And that's just because of her power. But what can you do? She should be in every movie. We don't make the
She should.
rules.
No, but we should.
Yeah, it's actually a real shame. Well, okay, so Enchanted. Something that you mentioned earlier is that some of it is animated and some of it is live action. And that rocks.
It does.
It starts out animated and you're in this like beautiful enchanted forest, pun intended, and um there's like a large troll and a prince and his like conniving little companion who are trying to catch the troll. And then there's also Giselle and with her little woodland creatures. And you're like, yeah, this is absolutely a little
This
cute
is
little
a
fairy tale
Disney
movie.
film, capital.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. Then, so they meet and they sing the song True Love's Kiss.
And
And
before they meet, Giselle has been working on a statue of her one true love because she met him in a dream
mhm,
and she wanted to get the image out onto paper, so to speak,
mhm.
so she'd
But instead,
recognize
it's
him
a
when he arrived.
statue kind of made out of things that she has lying around,
Hmm.
including two large sapphires for some reason. Like it's mostly just like cute, like quaint woodland stuff that she has lying
Like
around
a
her home.
teapot.
And
Uh-huh.
then when she's getting around to the face, she's like, "Oh, he needs eyes," and it's two blue sapphires. Giselle, where did you get those?
Yeah, you live in a cottage.
Yeah.
I
She
know
doesn't
you
have,
can't.
she's never met any other human people, I'm pretty sure. So, like,
Yeah, that's kind of what's implied with her living situation.
yeah.
Although it is hard
Anyway,
to know for sure, I guess. But yeah,
yeah, we don't get much of that world because they sing True Love's Kiss and then they decide to get married the next morning.
yeah.
Um, and but then they can't get married because the evil queen is evil. And so she
She,
pushes Giselle down a magical like wishing well, which turns her into the sewer in Manhattan.
and Enchanted
And so
is good.
Enchanted, hey.
Yeah, yeah,
Good movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
Good
we talked
movie.
about the first 5 minutes of the movie in which it's animated,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah, we
then that's
did.
it.
And the cast also is good for sure.
Yes.
We have James
Mhm.
Marsden, we
Yes, we
have
do.
Amy Adams, we have
Yeah.
Patrick Dempsey, whose
Patrick
name in
Dempsey,
the movie is
Robert,
Robert.
I think.
Yeah.
And Idina Menzel plays his
And
girlfriend of 5 years.
Ella, she catches me off guard every single time. Every single
Mhm.
time I'm watching this movie and Nancy shows up, she's like, "Hey, girlfriend." It's like that Beyonce meme to me. I'm like, Adina?
Yeah.
So that's great. I I everything about this movie is so good to me. I like it when they make the animated characters look like the voice actors, like they did in Emperor's New
Yes.
Groove, yet another connection. And they kind of had to
Hmm.
do that in this one because they come into real life, and so they have to make the characters look like the characters. But even
Yeah,
still,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
fun to see animated and then real life. And like, yeah, they
Yeah,
look like that. They
yeah,
do.
yeah.
And that's just good. Um, Julie Andrews does the narration
Yeah,
because of course
she
she does.
does. Of
Yeah,
course she does, because this is a great movie.
it is. Yeah, it's kind of
Hmm.
like I can't even really get it out. I don't want to make this direct comparison. I was gonna say it's kind of like The Princess Bride, which feels a little dangerous to say because can any movie really be like The Princess Bride? Because that movie is perfect
Hmm.
every conceivable way. But it's kind of like that in that it's got all of these staple like archetype characters.
Right,
Not
yeah,
really
yeah.
archetype, but like staple characters from fairy tales. Um,
Yeah, like you have the benevolent and virtuous princess and versus the wicked queen.
yeah, evil henchman who has a
Hmm.
weird toxic relationship with the evil queen, and that's
Yes,
great, famously always.
obviously. Hmm.
Um,
A
funny animal
prince,
sidekick.
he's very gallant, but he's kind of not very smart. That's kind of
Yeah.
fun. Funny animal sidekick as well, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And then they move into the real world, and we have like, instead of like Disney princess character tropes, we have like New Yorker tropes.
mhm.
So that's kind of fun too.
I did write
This
this
is the
down.
only city in the world, etc.
Yeah.
They're always saying
And
stuff like that.
they always are constantly. You can tell because no one's even fazed by all of these things that are happening. Like it's just kind of normal.
Hmm.
Um, and I do think it's very appropriate that the evil queen sends her to somewhere where there are no happy endings, and the place she ends up is New York.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
real and true.
very real and true. Kindness versus the people of New York.
Who would win?
Fury, explosive, dangerous. She
Yeah,
barely makes it out alive.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, she meets Robert because he shows her a tiny little act of kindness by bringing her back to his apartment to help her where she needs to go because he's like she's kind of unstable probably. But I
yeah.
can't leave her. Like, he's a good
I
man,
can't leave
you
her
know?
like this because my
Yeah,
8-year-old child is watching.
yeah, yeah.
6.
So he brings her back to his apartment and is gonna buy, like, get her a cab to send her elsewhere, but she's already asleep, and he's like, fine, whatever. So he's very kind. He lets her rest, but also he's not stupid because he says, "Hey, Morgan, how about you sleep in my room tonight?" So
Hmm.
that's good. It shows he's a good dad.
Yes, he's responsible,
Hmm.
without being like cold-hearted or whatever. And then the next
Yeah,
morning she makes a new dress out of his curtains.
and invites all of
And
the
listen,
vermin.
he has good taste in curtains,
He does.
but this is a very upsetting thing.
It is. I also would be very frustrated by this. I cannot
Yes.
imagine. The amount of
Make a
fabric that
dress
it takes.
out of thrifted curtains. Don't
Yeah.
use somebody's actual curtains that they have in their home
He's a
currently.
divorce lawyer, so you know he spent so much money on those because they have so much money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he lives in a pretty nice place,
he
2-bedroom
does.
apartment in Manhattan.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a nice place, but he doesn't take very good care of it. It's kind of messy. There's trash everywhere. And so
Yeah.
Giselle calls all of her
He's a
animal
single dad.
friends. He is a single dad. Yeah.
Hmm.
He's, he's practical more than anything. So he's all
Yeah,
about function.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Um, she calls rats and pigeons and cockroaches into their
yeah.
apartment to help them clean, and she doesn't clean them first. At least in Ratatouille, they put the rats in the dishwasher first.
They put the rats in the dishwasher first so they get all steamed out and they're fine.
Yeah. She cleans up
Well,
the
how
trash,
clean is
but
this
she
apartment
introduces
getting?
10,000 new diseases, including
Hmm.
new ones that haven't been invented yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She invents some diseases right there. And
Yeah.
so he walks in to his apartment and is like, oh,
I
we're gonna
liked this
have to
part because
move. He's like, I'm gonna burn the building down. He freaks out. He's like, what do I do? In a moment of panic, he just starts grabbing animals and throwing them out the window with his bare hands, not even gloves. What if they had rabies? Robert, you would die.
that down. I was like, you could tell that he also was from New York because for no hesitation, he started grabbing pigeons, scooping up roaches with his bare hands. No human person does that unless you've
No.
lived in the worst city on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I freaking why he just starts he has his daughter
Instantly,
start
he's
helping
like,
too.
what's going on here? Grab, grab.
Morgan, grab some rats. She's 6.
Jesus. You can't tell your 6-year-old child to go grab. That's crazy.
Wild and insane. So they get the apartment cleared out. Giselle's in the shower. Some wacky, funny hijinks come over. No, wacky, funny hijinks happen. Nancy comes over to pick up Morgan to take her to school, and she sees
For grown-up girl bonding
Giselle.
time.
Yeah, for grown-up girl bonding time. Yeah, even though Morgan's only 6, and her dad very somberly says, "You won't be forever." A little weird,
Yeah.
man.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, which is a huge part of his character arc because he wants to prepare her for the real world. So instead of the fairy tale book she wanted, he gets her a book with real life women role
In
models,
STEM.
historical heroes.
Hmm.
Um, which is a very
He
good
gets
thing to
her a women
have.
in STEM book, and you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, good and important book,
Yes.
but
But not the one that she wanted. And
mm-mm.
he's a divorce lawyer in New York. He couldn't have bought her 2 books.
Yeah, come on, man.
Hmm.
He spent all his money on the curtains.
Yeah, obviously. Just for them to get torn up, perfectly cut out in the shape of her body in the window. Like she didn't even take them down. Or did she
No,
take them down, cut them out, and hang them back up? Giselle!
she's a lunatic.
Yeah,
She's perfect for the man who grabs rodents with his bare hands.
yeah, yeah. They're actually made for each other. I'm surprised it takes so long in the movie for them to realize this.
So you can tell that Patrick Dempsey is kind of charmed, but mostly confused by Giselle's
Yeah, everything.
sincerity.
Yeah.
Yeah. She loves, I mean, she's had pretty much the worst day anybody could have, a day in New York, but she
Mhm.
still has so much optimism and hope and like genuine kindness. None of it is fake or like a facade. It's just she really means it. So when he takes her
Mhm.
to work and being divorce lawyer headquarters and divorce
Mhm.
couple trying to come to an
Mhm.
agreement, and she realizes they are no longer going to be married and starts sobbing.
Yeah.
She,
It's the first time she's ever even considered the fact that love couldn't last forever. And he's like, stop crying in front of my clients.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, she also puts a fish in her mouth.
Yeah, she does because she drinks out of the fish tank. Just so you know, that's not potable water. There's other stuff in there.
Yeah.
There's chemicals and stuff. You're not just supposed to drink that, but she does. And then, but
Mm-mm.
there's a fish in it because it's a fish tank. And so she spits it into a coffee cup and says, "It's nice to meet you."
And
And
she's
the
talking to
office
the voice
assistant is
of
like,
hello. And she's the voice of Ariel in The Little Mermaid.
yes, this is a good movie.
It's a good movie. Yeah. Um, yeah, so he's confused but charmed, but in an appropriate way because he's dating Nancy and they're very professional and very like um
Yeah.
practical is the word he uses. They've been dating for 5 years and he finally decided it's time for us to get engaged. Because
Hmm.
Nancy and I aren't like all those other couples who get married on a whim. Like we've been practical. We've thought about this. He's very like functional.
Yeah.
And he thinks, him and Nancy are very much the same in this. But, as we see Nancy's character develop a little bit later too, we see that she is very romantic and very like
Yeah.
passionate. But
Yeah. She just didn't know that that was possible because she lives in the real world, otherwise known as New York, otherwise known as the worst city
the worst
in
place.
the
Mhm.
world.
Yeah. No happy endings
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so she's she's like secretly romantic, but she loves Robert and Morgan enough that she is willing to take her time and let it play out practically,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
be secretly romantic.
Hmm. Um, and so Giselle encourages Robert to be a little bit more openly passionate, give her some roses, because if you don't, how will she know that you love her?
Hmm. Cue one of the greatest songs of all time.
Burr. Burr. Top of that,
Hmm.
Patrick Dempsey being so confused in the background the whole time. He knows the song too. They know the song. Everybody knows this song. I've never heard this song before. And what I love about this scene and the whole movie is okay, so you got Idina Menzel in the movie, right? And you remember in Frozen how Idina Menzel was also in that movie, and she says, "You can't marry a man you just met." And it's
Hmm.
like kind of meant to be Disney making fun of itself a little bit, right? Um,
Hmm.
this movie to me is so much, it's not like that at all. It's not ironic. It's not trying to be like, right? It's we love this half of ourselves and we love this half of ourselves. And they both can go together like this. It's
Hmm.
marrying together the fairy tale ideals and the reality of things. And
Yeah.
so Robert saying, "Oh, he knows the song too." It's not in a like looks at the camera
He's right
Joss Whedon-y
behind me,
kind of
isn't he?
way.
Yeah.
Exactly. It just feels like genuine confusion from a man who has been so far. Maybe magical stuff does happen occasionally, but he's been so practical his whole life that he's never really paid attention to it and he's never noticed it. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like it doesn't feel snarky. It feels like the whole movie just feels so sincere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
so Prince
And
Edward. Oh, so go ahead.
oh, just interestingly, Giselle sends the ring of flowers that are heart-shaped and an invitation to go to a ball, and it's carried in by two white doves, and she sends that to Nancy. Interesting.
You're saying they
If
should
this
have been
movie
together.
were ever to be better, Nancy and Giselle would fall in love with each other.
Aw. Yeah, they would have been a beautiful polycule. So Nancy is awed by this. She loves it. Um, so that problem has reconciled itself thanks to Giselle.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, Prince Edward has come over from Andalasia to rescue her, but he's being thwarted by his own himboness and evil henchman Nathaniel. The secret star of this movie, maybe? I love him so
Maybe?
much. He's great. He has been given three poison apples by Evil Queen. In a scene that I love, she's animated in the pot, and then she sends up three apples, and then every now and
And
then
they're
she'll reach up and grab
real.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's so
awesome.
good. That's
Yeah.
so good to me. I love it. Yeah, very, very good. But everyone has, everyone is so good in this movie. All of the characters rock so hard. Nathaniel has his own little mini arc where he accidentally watches a bit of a soap opera on TV, and
And
the
the
woman.
character, the woman on the TV looks so similar to the evil queen. Interesting.
And she says to a man who has just professed his love for her, "How can I love a man who doesn't even like himself?" And he's like, it hits him where he lives, you can tell. And then
Hmm.
he's chatting with Prince Edward a little bit later, and he's like, "Do you like yourself?" And Edward's like, "Brother, what's
What's
not
not to
to
like?
love?" Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
Nathaniel realizes I don't like myself. Maybe I maybe this is unhealthy
Mhm. And good for
and good
him.
for him. And good, exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
great. Um, so that's going on in his mind. Edward is wonderful. I love him so much. That's the
Yeah,
other thing I like about this
he's
movie is that the
awesome.
love interests are not terrible people. Because I like it when
Right. They're both
rom-coms
very
do that.
likable.
That's a separate thing. But when they're able to have a successful rom-com where both of the people have significant others of their own and none
Hmm.
of them are the bad guy, that's really
That's hard
that's
to do.
tricky.
Hmm.
Yeah. But
But they do it in
Nancy's
this movie.
great and Edward is awesome. He's like clearly just a little bit he's a fairy tale prince.
Yeah.
Things are simple there for him. And Nancy kind of wants that simplicity, but she's in the real world, so she can't have it. And
Hmm.
Giselle realizes that she maybe wants the complexity a little bit. And Robert realizes that he maybe needs to believe in magic. They all four of them learn
Hmm.
things together from each other, with each other, and none of all of
Yay.
them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody,
Hmm.
give it up for Enchanted. Like
Hmm.
I'm getting
Louder.
goosebumps talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Edward's
What I
great. He's
love,
so charming.
he's charming. All the characters are just so likable. And
Yeah.
that's the mark of a good movie. You like to watch it. Um, I like the scene Edward and Robert meet in Robert's apartment, and Edward's immediate assumption is this is someone who has kidnapped the princess, and I'm gonna have to duel him to death. And Robert's immediate assumption is, oh, great, Edward, I've heard about you. Right. So he's very thrown off when Edward calls him, a foul beast. He's using these like archaic language that people in New York don't use except for when they do, I guess,
Mhm.
and pulls a sword on him in his own house. And he's like, I have a child. Like, don't do this. Anyway, so Giselle can like talk him down. They work it out. They're like, everything's gonna be fine.
Mhm.
But she is like, I like, and she's like, can I? He's trying to sing their duet, and she doesn't sing along. And he's like, what's wrong? And she says, nothing. I'm just thinking. And he says, think. Anyway, so she decides, like you said, she wants more of that complexity in her life. So she's like, maybe, we don't have to get married right away. We can stay here and like go on a date. And he's like, huzzah! But what is that? Like, he's all in, but he just doesn't know what it is, which is awesome.
Mhm.
That's like quite typical of his whole character. Is like, whatever it is, I'll do it. But what is that?
Yeah, he's great. I love that scene. He has
Yeah.
just essentially like speed run the life of a missionary. He's knocked an entire building.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finally found the one he was looking for. Oh, with Giselle and Robert. So he's, charmed by her. And the key moment, the O in italics moment for her
Hmm.
is when he's like, you can't believe in things all the time. Grow up. But in a Patrick Dempsey, very charming, beautiful man kind of a way. And she's like,
Right,
you
of
piss
course.
me off. Screw you, Jack. Oh no. That's the basically how that scene
Hmm.
goes. So she really
She
she
realizes that she's
realizes,
angry. She's like, oh, there's like a depth of emotion that has been untapped in my life until now. Ooh. And
almost like
also
without
he's like,
the
sadistic. in his bathrobe. And
What?
she's like, he's standing there in his bathrobe while they're arguing. And she's like, oh my gosh, what if he's low key, high key, hot right now?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, four of the most beautifulest people in the whole wide world, and one of them is standing there in his bathrobe with shower hair,
Mhm.
being kind of annoying, and you're not supposed to fall in love with him? Like, nobody's
Sorry.
that strong.
Mhm.
Yeah. So of course she falls in love with him. Um, and I like the moment where they're kind of are they going in for a kiss lean? Maybe. She clearly is going in for the kiss lean, and he's like, he says, okay, turns around and walks back to his bedroom, which is
Yeah.
great because he's still dating Nancy. Um, but it's still just feels so professional. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, those okay, back out. And this
Hmm.
it's great. And then she has to sit down. She does, oh my. And you know,
Hmm.
that's the scene. Yeah. Experience all in all things and learning that sometimes taking the pain with the good means it's better overall or something like that. I don't know.
I
Just
don't
food
know,
for
maybe
thought.
something like that. That sounds kind of crazy, but maybe. Whew.
I have my notes here.
Oh, yes, let's do those.
Oh, I like that she doesn't like she physically when Giselle first shows up in New York, she physically does not fit in every possible way. Her
Hmm.
demeanor, her outfit is white
It's
against the dirty,
enormous.
gross nastiness of New York City. It's big.
Yeah.
She doesn't, yeah, doesn't fit anywhere.
She
I
doesn't
like
fit
that.
through doorways. Like when she's trying to get in to the apartment, they have to break her out of the dress. It doesn't
Yeah,
fit. There's too many hoops.
yeah.
Yeah.
And on the dress, you know, costume design. This is back when having a
Yeah.
costume designer in a movie meant something.
Hmm.
Okay?
Hmm.
That
I
wedding
think
dress,
there's one costume in this movie that's not good, and everything else about this movie is perfect.
exactly. This movie has exactly one flaw. And that's
Yeah.
what I was alluding to
We'll
earlier when we were
get
talking
to it.
about the ball. Yeah,
Hmm.
believe me, I've never forgiven it for that. But
Hmm.
having, the big wedding gown, you can feel the weight of it. It's a
Yeah.
that's a dress.
It's
That's
an
a costume.
experience. Everything
Yeah.
about her like sparkles a little bit.
Yeah, her hair is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Funny detail. I liked that she goes up to the castle and tries to knock to get in because it's 2D. She's used to
Hmm.
2D. So
Yeah.
it makes sense that she'd think, I know that I recognize.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
I thought was cute. That was good. I like that when Giselle is falling in the Enchanted Forest and Edward catches her, it's so elegant and she just lands on the horse perfectly in his arms. And then when
Hmm.
Robert tries to catch her in New York, they both tumble down and her dress flips up and she's sticking feet up into the air.
Yeah.
So like
And
different.
he like scrapes his elbow super bad, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
This this is one of my biggest pet peeves. It's when characters in movies, they're supposedly awake at like 6 in the morning, but it's
Mhm.
so sunny outside. That drives me up the wall. That's
Mhm.
never true. They're like pretending it's 6 a.m. with 10:30 a.m. sunshine.
Mhm.
Don't bullshit me.
I don't buy it for a second.
Mm-mm, never. Mm-mm. And in New York, of all places, I don't think the sun ever rises there.
No, I think it should all be filmed at, it looks like dusk all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the sunlight's never
Um,
getting to him.
right. That
He's
just doesn't
not that,
happen.
he's not in a penthouse. And that's the only way
No.
you could get it. You have to
All of
buy
the
it
other buildings block it out.
before all the other poor people can buy it.
Yes. Yeah. I'm so glad I don't live there. And
Yeah.
that
That's all I
tweet that's
like
like,
genuinely I like we just need a moment of silence for all the people who live in New York City on purpose or not on purpose. if they're
Not
stuck there,
on
you know?
accident, like
Yeah.
Giselle. Do you
Yeah.
think if she found her way in the Midwest one day, she'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I could have had this"?
Yeah. She'd be
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah, that you know that tweet that's like, if you don't have a stuffy nose right now or a sore throat, take a moment right now to appreciate it.
Hmm.
It's like that. If you do not live in New York right now,
Let's
just
bask in that.
yeah. Whew. Um, she's so Giselle's just delightful. She's so positive. I don't know if I've told you this before. I'm sure I have, but I used to hate Amy Adams like passionately when I was a kid. I don't know why. Still to this, I she just bugged me. And
Hmm.
so I wouldn't watch this movie. I didn't watch it until I was much, much older. And like just the way she floats around, I remember watching the trailers thinking that looks so annoying. Like
Hmm.
she's acting like a fairy
I'm
tale
9 years
character or
old and
something.
I'm pissed.
Yeah. So the living proof that people can change and grow
Mhm.
and have correct opinions. Thank you. Thank you. Please. Why did I start the sentence?
I think we were
She's
just
just she's
grateful. We're grateful that we don't live in New York City, and one of your pet peeves is when people wake up in the morning, but it's clearly the middle of the day.
yes,
I don't
yes.
remember
And
what the
Giselle's so
point of
oh
that was, but that's where we
yeah,
were.
that was perfect. Okay. So I like that Giselle is very positive and cute.
Yes.
And when she invites all the vermin with their 10,000 diseases into the house, she says, "It's nice to make new friends." And it's like
Yeah.
she's saying it and she's speaking it into existence. She's deciding
Yeah.
it's nice to make new friends. I'm going to make new friends.
Yes,
I
because
will
she's used to all her cute little woodland creatures who are always clean because they're animated, and it's like a beautiful bluebird and a little fawn, you know. And then she calls
Mhm.
to the animals, and they're all New York City animals, and she's like, "Oh, no, I shan't judge." Like, yeah, yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah. hmm Oh, something about Patrick Dempsey, aka Robert, I guess,
Yeah,
is
whatever.
when Nancy leaves his apartment after seeing wacky shenanigan hijinks from earlier, where Giselle falls out of
Hmm.
shower onto Robert on accident, and it's like, hello. But no, not like that. No, Nancy, no, trust me. But she's across the street in her cab, and he runs down through the building, but sees her get in the cab, and then he stops. He doesn't, at this point, Robert is not evolved enough to do the whole romantic chase scene. He's like, oh,
Hmm.
she's in the car, she's gonna drive away so fast. He's not willing to do the rom-com movie thing of
Yeah.
running in New York, just running through the streets to catch up with your love, you know? He's
Hmm.
practical. Not gonna do that.
Yeah, she
And
drives
that's
away, and he just watches her go, and he's like, "Oh,
yeah.
oops."
And you can tell he cares about her. He put in some effort, but not
Yeah.
like the ridiculous extra amount of effort that a rom-com love interest would usually do in a rom-com movie. Because at this point, he
Mhm.
doesn't really know he's in a movie. He just thinks
Yeah,
he's in New
that's
York.
true. I feel like we don't even have anything else to say. Like that is just a perfect summation of his perspective of the movie. It's like, yeah, man,
Bada bing, bada boom.
I'm walking
I
here,
can walk.
gabagool. Blah.
Yeah, that's just it,
Yeah.
baby. This movie to me feels like the perfect marriage of choice and like love at first sight, fate, destiny type of thing. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like Giselle and Edward could have been perfectly happy together if they had just stayed in Andalusia together and been married. And Nancy and Robert could have been, had a perfectly fine life. Like it's not like they would have made the wrong choice if
Right.
they had
Yeah.
ended up with the other love interest. But the fact
It's
that
just that
Nancy
now they
wants
have
the
actual alternatives.
yeah, yeah.
And with when you're presented with more alternatives, you can see like the good, better, and best options instead of just like the good.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and really take into stock what you want
Yeah.
in your life. And like I was saying earlier, Robert needs to believe in that level of fate, but also Giselle gets to choose
Yeah.
the like you see, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
it's both of them
Because in
without looking down
in
on the other one.
Andalasia, she didn't have any options at all. So there's not
Mhm.
this element of choice. It's just like, oh, I'm like this little peasant, and then I become the princess because I marry the prince, and that's just how it works. Versus now, it's like, oh, I can have that, or I can be a stepmother, but not a wicked
Yeah.
stepmother, and I
No.
can figure out I can like try to start a business in New York and see if it lasts for more than 5 years. And I, yeah, but she has
Yeah.
alternatives so that she can actually choose.
Yeah. Yeah. And Edward just dropped into Nancy's lap.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yay.
So good for them. They're
Hmm.
having the time of their lives. I love Nancy so much too, because when at the end Giselle has been poisoned by Evil Queen and kiss with Edward doesn't work, so he's not her true love. Oh no, what to
They're like,
do?
oh, what do we do?
Yeah.
And Nancy's
Robert,
like,
you try
Robert,
it. And
what are you waiting for?
it's her.
Get up there.
Hello,
Yeah. Hmm.
Nancy.
She's a
And
girl's girl.
she's a girl's girl for real. She's so great.
Hmm.
Because okay, the dance scene. We've talked about this before, just us. I don't think we've ever done it on the podcast, but the so okay, so close.
Okay, so why? Here's the thing. It's this like romantic ball, and you like invite a date to go to the ball with you, and you get all dressed up in like old-timey clothing. And the dance where you swap partners is the king and queen's dance, the most romantic, like last dance of the night. You'd think you would do it earlier for like a fun one, and then go back with your date for the last
Uh-huh.
dance of the night, the kings and queens dance, the most romantic
While
dance of all time.
that song plays,
Hello?
hello?
It doesn't make any sense for the dance where you switch dates to not just be like a fun and silly one.
Yeah. Why didn't they play Cotton Eye Joe?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do like
What?
some line dance or something where it doesn't really matter what partner you have.
Yeah. The
And then they
theory
have
that
a live band and this guy with his like slightly trembling voice. You're like, Nancy and Edward have to dance to this and watch Giselle and Robert take the floor.
maybe it's just in their heads, but maybe the lighting people really did turn off all of the other lights and put the spotlight just on them. It's not clear.
It
So
kind of
they
seems
both,
like what happened though.
hmm. Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah, they
else,
have to look at
all
that.
the other couples are getting out of the way so that they can dance in the middle of the ballroom. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Hmm. Nancy does cut in half, like, near the end of it. And Giselle is sobbing because she's realized once for all she is in love with Robert. And
Hmm.
Nancy also realizes this because she finishes the dance with him, and you can tell they're looking in each other's eyes. And to Giselle's perspective, it's they're in love. They're going to, but
Because they're
to
looking into each other's eyes. But Nancy's like, kill yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she's already had time, like around 30 seconds to come to this acceptance of, he's in love with her. They're in love with each other. He can go ahead and Robert go ahead and kiss her. True love's
Hmm.
kiss. I believe in it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nancy is so cool.
Yeah.
She's so cool. I
She'll
love her
put
so much.
any of her interests aside for the sake of magic and romance. Like, even if she doesn't
Yeah,
get to be the one to experience it. Okay. Save some altruism for the rest of us, Nancy.
yeah. Oh
Please.
my gosh. And
And then in
thankfully
that,
she does
like
get
Edward and Nancy have, they like swap partners for the dance, so they kind of know each other. And that moment where she's so selfless. He's like, whoa,
Ooh,
what a good act. Like, what a good person to do that. Maybe they will fall
yeah.
in
And
love.
earlier, he says, "This is Giselle, my one true match. I love her so much. She's my everything." And that's Nancy's like, oh moment. She's like, oh my gosh, I've never heard
Yeah.
someone say it
Like,
and just really mean it.
yeah,
So
like
yeah,
I would love for somebody to just introduce me with like, yeah, that level of like passion.
hmm
Yeah.
maybe. What if we ran away to Andalasia together? Haha, JK, unless. Yeah.
What I
Um,
also love, a little sneak peek to the end of the movie when they go back to Andalasia and they're animated. First of all, Nancy's animation is so cute. Secondly, she has cell reception. Awesome.
yes. Very funny. They have cell towers?
It's just magic, I guess.
It's great. But even still, she throws her phone on the ground and it breaks and it shatters because even if she
Hmm.
does have cell reception, she like phones are evil
She's
and she knows
busy.
that.
Hmm.
And she dips him.
Yeah, because
Cute.
she's a girl boss.
She is. Yeah.
Hmm.
She wants a fairy
She lived in
tale
New
and she is a
York,
girl boss.
Troy.
I think I know what a bagel is. Great. And but
Yeah.
see, this is the thing. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about Disney, like a CEO-ifying girl boss characters. Like Nancy is
Hmm.
so cool. She's clearly like so accomplished in her own right and very
Yeah.
talented and like a cool person. And and she wants the romance and the passion and the crazy like fate
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
story. Do these things conflict with each other?
Only if you're a
Oh,
coward.
yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. She looks pretty happy there at the end. Huh?
That's
It's like you can have a personality and still, you know,
work in an office. Like be successful. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's almost like
crazy.
it like almost like reinforces the dichotomy. Like you can either have a successful, like monetarily successful career or be a passionate person with a personality and follow
Mhm.
your dreams or whatever. And it's like those things are getting like farther and farther apart, you know?
Yeah,
That's interesting. And it's like
really.
almost, yeah, it's like reinforced by Disney making characters who are financially successful always annoying.
Yeah.
Even if they're not evil, they're just annoying.
Yeah, they are.
Hmm.
Which in a, I guess in a different way is kind of true of them
Kind of
to say
true, but
rich
only
people,
because do you
annoying.
think, well, rich people, yes, but
But they
people
don't
who
make them
are
to be annoying is the
hardworking and
thing.
successful, they don't make out all
Yeah.
rich people to be annoying. They only make out girl bosses to be annoying.
Yeah.
So then it sends the message to a young girl watching this movie. You have to choose if you want to have a job and be good at your job, or if you want to be a nice person.
hmm Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Well,
this movie is a good example of them not doing that.
because
Yeah.
Nancy can have it all.
And she does. Good for
Hmm.
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
What can she not do? This movie's great. Let's
Yes.
talk about the dress. I don't think we can avoid it any longer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We said every nice thing we can say about the ballroom scene. It's beautiful, it's romantic. You can see why people like shift and make the choices that they do. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Before this, okay, Giselle decides to go to the ball, and she tells Morgan that she's decided to go to the ball. And
hmm
Morgan pulls open the drawer with the credit card in it and says, Daddy says this is only for emergencies. This is definitely an emergency. And she has all the sass a 6-year-old person can possibly have. And they go on this
It's really
cute
cute.
shopping spree. Giselle gets her hair done, new makeup, new dresses, whatever. And then she goes to the ball in the most boring dress I've ever seen in my life. First of all, plum is not her color. Secondly,
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
I understand the thing of like she's trying to fit into Robert's world, and so she's gonna wear a more modern dress. But I disagree. It just doesn't get work.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I think you're exactly right. All due respect to Amy, it's not her color.
Mm-mm.
She turned
No,
off
because she's like a
colors.
warm spring or whatever, you know.
Yes. So bad color, and also it's one solid sheet of fabric. The least they could have done is had it be a tan tulle with a single lavender sash.
That's at least two
I'm kidding.
colored. They could have given her, I just think she needs layers. I think she could have done like a fun sleeve or something, you know?
Yeah, the thing is there are modern dresses that have personality to them. That's
Hmm.
the one they settled with. I take
And
back
that
everything
wouldn't,
I
here's
said
the
before
thing,
about
that's
costume
not the thing
designers.
that she would have chosen. And it's also certainly not the thing that Morgan would choose for her because Morgan is a child and has this dream of like a beautiful princess in a ball gown. Like,
Mhm.
I just don't see the like tight skirt, no sleeves thing really matching the princess in a gown look. You know, she needs something with a
Yeah.
skirt that actually moves. Like when they dance, we should
Yeah.
see a lot of movement. She's
Swirl.
at the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
If she was on a
Yeah.
regular, if they were just going on like a dinner date to like a fancy restaurant, sure. A tight
Yeah.
plum
But
dress
a
is whatever.
ball?
But they're specifically going to a ball where people dance. And so the clothes that you wear are supposed to actually aid you in the look of the dance,
Hmm. And you can tell that Robert really loves her because his breath is taken away by her in that dress when she's
even
never
though it's
looked more
just
boring.
kind of boring.
And
Yeah.
Adina Menzel is standing next to
The
him in a
dress that she made out of his
lovely gown.
curtain is
So
so
much
much more
prettier.
beautiful.
It's gorgeous. The layers,
Yeah.
the texture, the puffy little sleeve, the
Hmm.
skirt that's like tea length. Gorgeous. Not really
Hmm.
ballroom-esque, but
Not
still would
really
have been more
ballroom-esque.
appropriate than
Yeah.
whatever that nonsense that they paid way too much money
Yeah.
for is.
There's no like hoop or layers. The skirt should move. I'm just saying, like, as somebody who used to be a competitive ballroom dancer, if you're doing ballroom dance, your skirt should move. Hello?
Yeah.
It's
Otherwise,
like the
what's the
main
point of any of
rule.
this?
Why are we here? Let's go
Yeah.
home. I could be watching Die Hard right now. Why am I watching this? Anyway, yeah, and then
And
Idina
apparently, I
Menzel,
believe in dancing now, so I
How
guess I
does
agree with
Nancy
you.
just like have, yeah, how does Nancy have the dress with all the layers and it's like floral and interesting and unusual?
Mhm.
What, she just had that lying around? Or is there perhaps a place in New York that you can go to buy this kind of dress? And Giselle could have gone there too. I also love how Nancy's hair is like heart shaped. It's awesome.
Oh, I didn't notice that. But she's so practical, Robert. Yeah, you really nailed
Mhm.
her.
Yeah.
He's stupid, but we still love him. Okay,
Yeah.
when he goes to kiss her and he says, "Please don't leave me with tears in his eyes." Like, yeah, okay,
Ooh.
oh,
Ugh. Yeah.
oh my gosh, yeah, wow. Not as someone who has never seen the Doctor Show, the one that he's in, um,
Oh,
that
yes.
moment,
Grey's Anatomy. Yes, yes, yes.
that's the one. Yeah,
Hmm.
um, that moment, I
I've
fully
seen some
understood
of
the
it,
appeal of.
but man, why
Yeah,
there's like 100 seasons for some
yeah.
reason?
There's so
Maybe we could
many.
just
I feel
call it
like,
quit. It's not the
yeah. At
good.
one point, the
It's
hospital
not
blows up.
that good. Like, is it really good enough to justify having a billion seasons?
No,
Maybe like
not
four,
many
huh?
shows are.
Anyway,
That scene single-handedly made me understand his entire career.
yeah. Like now I get it.
Hmm.
Hmm.
He's wow. Yeah, that's good. Um, and maybe
Back to
also, and again, I don't have more
oh,
evidence of this, but that scene might also mean that he is not just a superstar, but also an actor. You know what I
also an
mean?
actor. Yeah, yeah. Some actual emotion there, not just like
Beautiful face.
yeah, not just
Yeah.
beautiful face. Um, Going back to to good costume design, which again is most of it. It's just glaringly not that
One
dress.
huge, yeah, sticks out like a
One
sore thumb, and it's
one
purple and
large
everything.
error. Yeah. And here's the thing, Amy Adams can wear purple. It just should be either a
Hmm.
lighter or a more rich purple. Like the plum, it's too like dark and muted. If it was dark but like
Yeah.
violet or something, she has red
Hmm.
hair. I mean, come on. She could totally wear that.
Hmm.
Or she could wear like a lovely lilac or something, you know? She
Yeah.
can have a purple dress with a skirt.
Oh,
That's so much to ask. Anyway,
yeah.
back to
What
good
about what
costume
about
design,
how
good
about
character design. I love both of their
yeah.
suits with the little like trimmy on the awesome.
Yeah.
And the evil queen costume design of all time, perhaps.
With her wings?
She has wings. She has those gloves that like never end. It's like her entire outfit is a glove. Awesome.
Hmm.
She's so sinister.
She's so scary. I love her so much.
Hmm.
And she turns into a dragon.
Yeah, that's right. This movie has a dragon.
I didn't even say anything before.
I know, we are
That's how
so
powerful the
sneaky.
so close scene is.
Yeah. It's like the power of so close is almost great enough that you forget that right after it, Narissa
The
turns into a
dragon.
dragon.
Yeah. It's the greatest movie ever. It's so
Yeah.
good. Yeah. She turns into a dragon and her scales are like sparkly and iridescent. So she's mostly
Yeah.
purple and black, but also a little bit green and teal.
Yeah.
Like they also the animators also went off on the dragon design. That's good.
Yes.
That's great.
Hmm. That's
She
good.
also turned into a dragon in the beginning of the movie to kind of, but we only saw the smoke outline of her being a dragon. So they
Yes.
were like, she can do this. This is a surprise that will help us
You're gonna
later.
remember it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Awesome.
good. Also, Robert's outfit that he wears to the ball matches Giselle's dream statue of her true
Yeah, the
love
blue
from the
one with the little
beginning.
sparkly trim on the wing.
Yeah. So like,
Uh-oh.
hmm, hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting.
Interesting indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. And he has blue eyes, just like perhaps two shining sapphires, whatever.
Yeah. Which again, you don't really get until he says, "Please don't leave me," and then it's like, "Oh, okay,
Hmm.
yeah, no, they sure are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're glistening. Okay,
His
all
eyes really do sparkle. It's just like whatever the guy's name is with the baseball cards, whose wife is Phoebe. And he says,
oh,
her eyes really do sparkle, you know?
yeah, yeah, that's sweet. She gets a couple to
Yeah.
reconcile with each other just by being sad at them,
Yeah. Just by saying,
she's grieving for the
how
loss of
could
their
you?
relationship for them.
Yeah. The first
Yeah,
moment that she's ever met them, and she's like, I can see the goodness in your heart, and I'm gonna let you know. Like, whoa, hey. Yeah,
yeah,
I love that. I love even like when they walk into the building and there's just like a statue in the foyer, and she just stops and
yeah.
stares, and it's like, she's so beautiful. And he's like, shut up. We have to go. But yeah, she's 100% earnest all the time.
Yeah, she is. It's so good. It's yeah. It again shows that he takes things for granted in his daily life and doesn't really pay attention to the beauty that's all around him.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because beauty can be
She's
found. This is like, I think Dumbledore said this. Beauty can be found even in New York.
yeah, I think so. I think that was in
Yeah.
the sixth book.
Yeah.
Just decided here, I have this book of designs. I'm just gonna flip through it and randomly stop on a page. Yeah,
Oh, that's kind of
that one.
classy.
You see that?
Hmm.
Yeah, she's got gloves on. You've got the fun
Hmm.
neckline and like the little pattern in the skirt.
Hmm. Interesting. Do
Yeah.
another one.
Uh, okay, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Oh, it's just words. Hold on.
Uh,
Oh, I don't like any of these. I'm gonna keep going.
okay.
Oh, yeah, here.
Mm-hmm. And
No.
you see what I see there?
Hmm.
I'm detecting a full skirt.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. I see. That's what the lines here are indicating.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Hmm.
know what I'm seeing also? And I'm not saying they're the best, but there's sleeves on there. And they're,
Yeah.
kind of crinkly. It's a weird look. I'll say it's still better than the one they went with. I
Yeah.
hate that dress so much.
Go
No,
girl, give
it
us
doesn't.
nothing.
Like, I think everybody at one point, doesn't everybody just go ape shit for the idea of wearing a big old ball gown at some point?
Hmm.
They couldn't even give us that. The big
Yeah,
climax at the end of the movie, and they couldn't, like, it's just not fair.
it's just not fair.
Yeah. Anyway,
She might as well have just showed up in jeans. I mean,
like, really,
look, I can
it's
be modern
awful.
too. Come
She
on.
looked better in the towel.
And Nancy can attest.
Oh, also, that is my other pet peeve about that scene is she crawled through the sewers and she didn't wash her hair.
Yeah, no, that is weird.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But I'll give her a pass. She's just discovered showers.
Yeah.
So,
The water comes from the pipes. I see. And where do the pipes get it?
where the pipes get it? Stupid idiot.
I don't know.
Whoops.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
It's a really good movie. Oh, the reason that they know that Giselle is has been poisoned by Evil Queen is because Nathaniel finally learns to stand up for himself and say, "No, she poisoned her. She made me help her too, and I did it, and I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to be that person." And he holds her by sword by with a sword against her neck. Um,
Yeah.
which you like. I know that he has broken up with her mentally, but don't you think that he's like this kind of hot?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So he's had his art.
Hmm.
Nancy and Robert, Giselle and Robert, Giselle and Edward, and then finally Edward and Nancy.
Hmm.
And then Evil Queen turns into dragon. They
Yeah.
defeat
And
her.
then
It doesn't matter.
she picks up Robert and Giselle in her little claws like they're dolls. Yay. But then she gets
Yeah, that's good.
defeated and she falls down the skyscraper forever and ever. And
Yeah,
then
and she picks up
basically happily ever after.
she picks up Robert as her damsel in distress,
Hmm.
and then Giselle is the one who gets to go after her with a sword and defeat her. And it's not
Yes.
like really like it's not like the movie really shined the spotlight on it like ooh this is so subversive and cool, right guys, look at what we're doing. Like
Right.
Narissa does make a comment about it, but it's more like oh you're fitting in this role, she's fitting in this role, okay moving on, like
Yeah.
it's more
Yeah.
in passing than they don't make a big deal out of it is what I'm saying. This movie is constantly breaking
Yeah. Like that's
boundaries
not the point of
but
the
not
movie.
patting itself on the back for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they save each
Hmm.
other is the thing. He kisses her, he saves her from poison, she saves him from dragon.
Hmm.
They're equals. Okay?
Gave you cookie, got you cookie. We're even. We're even, Schmidt.
Hmm. Hmm. And he's still so chill about it. Robert, why are you not freaking out more about this? You're being kidnapped by a dragon.
Well, you have those days where you're like, this might as well happen.
Giselle and Robert get together and we see them at the end of the movie playing with Morgan together.
Yay.
Robert gets to learn how to hope and love again and see the magic, and Giselle gets, a real life with complex feelings, and Nancy and Edward go back to Andalusia. Um, and Nathaniel becomes a famous author.
Yeah, good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah,
We love
he
him.
writes like self-help books like how to get out of toxic situationships. Good
So
for him.
appropriate. Only
What do we need more now more than ever?
yeah.
Yeah, we need to read Nathaniel's book, maybe.
hmm Yeah. It's a fantastic movie and I like it a lot. And that's
Amen.
the end of the sentence.
Yeah.
10, 10 out of 10 Obies. Why did that
10 out of 10.
Obies? I don't know.
I don't
What
know
was the
either.
phrase my brain gave me? I don't know. I don't know where it came from. I'll find it later.
Yeah, I don't know.
Drew Gooden. That's it. Okay, I found it. Never mind. That's
And
not
he's
relevant.
not, I assume, talking about obstetricians. Just checking.
No, it's the name of a dog.
Oh, okay.
And it actually was Amanda who said it.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Okay.
it's her channel.
It
We all
might
know.
jog my memory. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Good movie, but what else is there to say?
Hmm.
I am glad we didn't talk about Pushpa because I still haven't seen it and I don't know if I could have carved out the time to watch it in the hour between me getting home from work and, you know, talking about it from here. So
Yeah.
this was,
Yeah. Uh, Probably not, because it is 4 hours long.
it is, yeah.
It's quite long. Unnecessarily, one might say.
Mm.
Not that it's not enjoyable, but you just like really feel the need for intermission. So you're like, it's a good thing this is
Mm.
an Indian movie because they're allowed to have those there.
They plan for it.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah, so that can be something,
this was
you
fun.
spend some time this week, all your free time, just to watch little bits of Pushpa too. It is like it's very entertaining and there's a lot happening and
hmm
you'll enjoy it, but just be prepared for the fact that it's 3.5 hours long instead of 2.5
Yeah.
like regular.
And we say it all the time. If you're going to have a movie go over 90 minutes, then every minute should be worth it.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's definitely like a cap on top of that where even if it is worth it, it's just long.
It's just long, like we could have maybe it could have just maybe been a different number of movies, or perhaps there
Mm-hmm.
are certain scenes that are not necessary.
hmm
I don't know, something to think about. But it is fun and you'll enjoy it. And should we plan on that for next week, or do you want to buy yourself a little bit more time and say that we'll do it in 2 weeks? Okay.
hmm
Cool.
Just to be safe. Do you have an idea for a movie for next week then?
Um, the only movies that have ever been on my mind ever are the following. By which I mean like in the last week, you know? I will tell you, it's Mississippi Masala that I watched recently that's so good. And it's also Cool Hand Luke, and it's also maybe Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Yes. So those are my three options. Whichever one of
Okay,
those you would like to do first.
excellent. I have never seen two of those, and it has been many, many years since I've seen the remaining one of those. So,
Great. So just
yeah.
pick one, or maybe you have time. All of these, by the way, are not longer than 2 hours movies.
Good.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, hang on. Let me actually check runtimes for you. Just because I think that you can pick one and watch it, or you can like watch all three of them and then talk about them in whatever order you would like. The one that you've seen before is over 2 hours, but it's 2 hours and 6 minutes. So it's probably actually two
Oh,
hours because of like credits.
hmm
So you'd be,
Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah.
Why do they count the credits in the runtime?
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
No, especially not in the current era of like when you're streaming a movie and immediately after it ends, you start get it's like watch this movie now, preview in 5, 4,
Hmm.
so you don't even have the time to like sit and digest it.
Yeah, and if there is an after credit scene, you have to specifically like find the remote quick, so it doesn't. Yeah.
So it doesn't make you just
Um,
autoplay some other movie for some
this is
reason.
a little unrelated, but similar, I think, is I have the Walmart app for groceries because it's just easier for me. Um, but they have gotten much more comfortable with, including sponsored things in between the list of my items that I get every single week. And they have gotten
Uh-huh.
very comfortable with pop-ups of like things we think you'd like, or don't forget your usuals, or what about this? This
hmm
pairs well with this thing. And it's a little bit of like, if I were at the store, I wouldn't have this physical thing popping up say, "Hey, don't forget your usuals." And I
hmm
wish that I could maybe just shop for the things that I know I need instead of having things constantly pushed down my throat.
Yeah,
That's just,
especially because it's not as though Walmart, one of the world's most insidious and large corporations, really needs advertising.
yeah,
Like it's not like they're sponsored by some other thing like that they're gaining. Like I hate YouTube sponsorships, but at least I'm like, that's just a guy that needs money.
yeah,
When it's Walmart, you're like, okay, you
yeah,
have everyone's money. You have all the money.
yeah, yeah. Wow, we got to end on a low
Anyway,
note.
we
Let's all just
really,
remember,
yeah, we really just like,
yeah, real
yeah,
roller coaster of a conversation here tonight. But I think we can all agree, Enchanted.
it's a good movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
And everyone starts cheering and like throwing their hats.
Well, oh, the other thing I was going to mention is I since I started this job, I haven't been able to watch Parks and Rec because it hits a little too close to home. But the
hmm
one scene that I always remember is Ben and Jerry talking about uh Enchanted, and they go on like their date that Ben had
Yeah,
planned for with Leslie, but Jerry's there instead, and they have such a lovely day just talking exclusively about Enchanted.
yeah,
And I think that's really, really sweet and I like
and
a lot.
true and correct.
And true and good and yeah. Related, but I, Parks and Rec was always a little bit harder for me to watch because there are a lot of things about it that I really enjoyed, but they just hate Jerry so much, and it's not
Yeah,
funny. It's mean. At least in The
it's
Office, it's
mean.
just Michael that hates Toby so much, and
Right.
for not
But
really
then
any good
everybody
reason.
else
But
is usually pretty decent to him. Yeah.
yeah, everybody is so mean to this perfectly nice man. It's so nasty.
Yeah, it's not very
Yeah.
nice.
But that's all I have to say.
Yeah. I think the greatest thing to come out of Parks and Rec is the ad-libbed I typed your symptoms into into the thing up here and it says you might have
Connectivity
network
issues.
connectivity problems. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Oh, yeah. Personally, I think my one of my favorite lines is Ron saying, "We still never talk sometimes,"
Yeah.
and that's really funny. That's good.
That's
That's
pretty nice. I like that too, how he bonds with Typhoon over their hate of like European cyclists.
yeah.
Yeah.
Euro
And
trash.
friends can be found in unexpected places, just like
Mhm.
Giselle says about the sewer rats that she encounters. So now we're full circle.
Amen. Good job, everybody.
Yay.
Hit the showers.
Yeah. Let's all go home.